One Piece chapter 1111, it is titled The Sun Shield. I just want to mention before I dive into my review is that after this chapter, One Piece will be going on break for 3 weeks, and this is because of the unfortunate passing of Akira Toriyama. I want to give my condolences to his family, and he will be missed. In Dragon Ball, it was such a phenomenal series. But if you guys enjoy regular reviews like these, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. With that in mind, it's Potential Unleashed. And let's get into chapter 1111's review. The chapter, it starts off with Mars, and he is face to face with Jinbei. Jinbei notices the tremendous amount of haki, and he's like, oh shoot, it's time to go. Not because he's scared to go against Mars, but he knows that the other Straw Hats, they might not necessarily be able to handle an opponent like this, so he needs to get Zoro and get up out of there. And so he gets Zoro. However, Lucci, after receiving that deadly blow from Zoro, is still standing. He is in no condition to fight, and Zoro, he wants to go ahead and finish him off, but then Jinbei, he stops. He's like, hey, you didn't already finish him, I'll take care of the rest. And he hits him with a 5,000 brick fist, and then this is when Rob Lucci, he ends up trying to block the attack. However, it's a little bit too much for him because Zoro and Jinbei, they're able to escape, and Lucci is no longer in his zone form. Mars and Lucci have a quick discussion talking about the different locations of everyone, talking about York, that there's 2 Vegapunks left, the Straw Hats, and how the broadcast has 6 minutes left before it goes off. And he also, and I was surprised that Lucci did this, he asked Mars in order to spare Kaku's life because he is brutally injured. And this is where Mars is like, well, I can't make any promises because even an insect, I'm not going to sit up in here and pay attention when something has to be exterminated. And this has me believing that Mars is going to try to, number 1, save York, but 2, end the broadcast or destroy everything in one final attack. And I also thought back to something that Saturn, he said when he talked about that he doesn't care about insects. I think he was talking about either Bonnie or Jenny in chapter, I believe, 1103. In the last chapter, Dory and Brogy, they were able to reunite with Luffy, and they talk about his appearance, how he looks like the god that they mentioned in Elbaf, and they are ready to get up out of there because Sanji, he informs them that they're going to be headed on the end of the island, and it's time for them to escape. The reason why Dory and Brogy are here is because of what was going on in the news, and they know that the Straw Hats would need their help. The Giants, they then signal retreat because they've achieved their goal and they got Luffy. However, now that they are ready to leave, Warcury, he's not going to sit there and just let them leave. So then he attacks them with a screech that emanated Conquerors haki. So this showcase, and it's no surprise, but all 5 of the Gorosei, they probably have Conquerors. And this is because, number 1, the only person that they take orders from is Emu. They are the 5 authority figures. And number 2, whenever they transformed or were summoned to the island, we saw a lot of black lightning emanate from their circles. I also love seeing this because whenever the roar happened, Luffy in his Gear 5th form, we see his hair go back, we see him lose his hat, his belt, his shoes, and we also see Brogy, he ends up reacting to this. I just love seeing not only Gear 5th Luffy's reaction to different things, but other people around him whenever Luffy does something silly. As I mentioned in my Gorosei prediction video talking about their abilities, that the Think see, they have strong tusks, and they end up using that whenever they attack. And Warcury, he is no exception. He tried to attack Dory and Brogy, however, they block with their shield, and then they end up parrying and pushing him back with their shield. Saturn, he's still here. We know that he can use poison, and he ends up spitting poison at Luffy, who then grabs a tree, he chops it up, he turns it into a baseball hat, changes his hair into a helmet, and he goes batter up, and he ends up hitting the spit poison back at Saturn and Warcury, and Luffy's laughing and enjoying himself. However, the spit that he ended up hitting back at them actually had the ability to explode, and Luffy, he's reacting, he's like, oh, it could explode, because if it actually hit him, that would leave some serious damage. Dory and Brogy, they don't know what type of danger that the Gorosei pose, because Luffy, he's like, hey, you guys, and this is in Gear 5th Luffy, he's like, we got to get up out of here because they can't die, they appear to be immortal. We see the 3 of them, Jupiter, Saturn, and Warcury, all getting back or trying to transform again. The reason why they're they're immortal, chances are it probably has something to do with the open no Mi. And in the video that I talked about the Gorosei's abilities, I talked about that as well. So if you guys want to watch it, I will leave it in the description below. Everybody's leaving Luffy with Dory and Brogy. We see Nami, her group, which consists of Usopp, Chopper, Robin, Brook, and Lilith. There's also Jinbei and Zoro. They are headed that way as well. Frankie and Bonnie, they are running towards the giant ship. However, there are vice admirals trying to intercept them. Sanji's with Vegapunk too, and we finally got to see Kazar after 2 chapters. The last time we saw him was when Luffy turned him to a pizza and threw him into a battleship, and we were wondering why Kazar hadn't gotten up yet, and it's because he's kind of given up. Because in that same chapter, or it might have been the chapter before, I don't exactly remember, but he ended up kicking Sanji away and then inflicting a wound on Vegapunk that should have killed him. And the way that the story is going, it appears that Vegapunk is dying. So this is why Kazar, he talks about it's a deep wound within him, because he had to deliver a killing blow on one of his oldest friends. The giant that we saw that was dormant and now it's awake, we see it and they mention that it's way bigger than the giant. However, this robot, it ends up apologizing to Joyboy. Now, why is he apologizing? Could it be that he is sorry for not being able to accomplish his mission when he was fighting and climbing up Mary Jawan? Could it be that now, after all this time, he ended up getting reprogrammed, or he's against Joyboy? I'm not really sure, and I can't wait to figure out why he decided to apologize. But that's it for this chapter. As I mentioned earlier, One Piece, it will be on break for 3 weeks, but don't worry, I still will be posting different content. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video from my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. It's on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.